The biggest problem in anime is not this shit. Or this shit. You're not going to find it anywhere in this whole gallery of dicks. Because the biggest problem in anime isn't the shit that I don't want to see, rather it's the shit that I do want to see, but doesn't really exist. I understand that me saying I want more of this is rather selfish. That's because I'm representing one person, myself, a 22-year-old man who works at a grocery store and spends all his time watching anime and baseball. I don't represent the anime community. I don't know how to save the industry, but what I do know is that there's an absence of supply with way too much demand to ignore. Let me give you an example of what I mean. The Devil is a Part-Timer is a top-selling light novel series with 15 volumes currently in publication. It received an anime adaptation in spring 2013, adapting 2 novels in 13 episodes. The anime went on to sell respectable numbers in Japan and got a lot of attention in the West, and after 5 years, we have no official plans of a second season, a follow-up movie, or even a damn OVA. This is something I find completely unacceptable. The lack of consistent releases is the biggest problem in anime. Too often do we see great successful series take several years to see a continuation, if we're even lucky to get that. Not only is this just real frickin' inconvenient as a fan, but the numbers aren't satisfactory either. Here's a prime example, Blue Exorcist, a 2011 anime that adapted a best-selling manga in 25 episodes with a follow-up movie in 2012. The physical sales were pretty good, and my anime list, a pretty decent indicator of what's popular in the West, lists it as the 14th most popular anime of all time. And hey, it did get a second season.
6 years later,
Well, it didn't do too bad, did it? It was the 4th most popular anime of the season, so that's significant. But maybe that's just competition, you know? Maybe that was just a really crowded season with lots of great stuff. What was the most popular? Konosuba? Yeah, that must be a really iconic long-running franchise. I think I'm sensing a pattern here. Maybe, after a while, these people simply found other things to put their money into, and they no longer care as much about the anime they used to watch. Attack on Titan was one of my first anime, and by the time the second season came out 4 years later, I had seen so many other anime and changed my opinions on everything so many times that I felt the need to rewatch it, just to see if I still cared. 4 years doesn't seem like a long time on paper, but it is. That's high school right there. People need consistent updates or else they'll get bored. Move on. Why do you think Game of Thrones or the Marvel movies are so popular? Because they're not just good, they get new installments quite frequently. Hey, did you guys hear that Rick and Morty got renewed for 70 episodes? And that's not saying 70 episodes and then the show's over forever. It's more like this property is so big and so successful that someone is willing to make a long-term investment. Kind of like a multi-year deal for top athletes. This is something that anime lacks, which is just weird to me. I mean, they say that anime is hard to make, that it has few people working in the industry, that the audience is very niche, but then we get like 30 brand new full-length shows each season? Where the fuck are they even coming from? Who's watching this? Why couldn't this just go into the stuff that people already care about? While everyone's waiting for season 2 of The Devil is a Part-Timer, Studio White Fox doesn't get the contract to make it, and instead they run off with shit like Grimoire of Zero, or Matoi the Sacred Slayer. Ooh. Look, are these anime terrible? No. Are they worthless and have no right to exist? No. But like, they're so nothing that I don't really understand the point in making them. Yeah, they're fine. A few people may even enjoy them a lot. But instead of taking pot shots and making anime where people think, yeah, that was a show I watched once, how about putting that effort into the shows that people actually care about? If you've got a hit and the story leaves room for more, there should be more. You've got the demand, just give us the supply. Now, I'm not trying to say that studios need to be confined to one single franchise, that companies can't branch out and try different opportunities, but again, if you look at how sequel-heavy the current trends are, it's weird how anime has such a lack of long-running franchises. I understand that I'm speaking strictly from a Western point of view without consideration of Japan's local market, but like I said, this is my opinion, so fuck you guys. And it's not like we don't matter when hundreds of thousands of people are interested in your product, which is why it baffles me that Shokugeki no Soma has taken such a tumble with its presentation when it's so popular and praised so highly. Like, all these fans, and this is the best you could do? Sounds like someone's missing out on a lot of money, but at the same time, I don't know a lot about this, and it's probably a much more complicated issue, so I won't get into it. But it's worth bringing up, because it's not just about making new installments, it's about keeping up the quality, which is also something that anime struggles with. And if you want an example... Shut up! And if you want an example of consistent, high-quality releases, look no further than My Hero Academia. And I know, everyone has an opinion of it, oh no, but regardless of your feelings of the anime's content, you've gotta admit that it's doing something right. Even if it's not considered the best anime, it's still the most talked about. And why do you think that is? Because it's considered to be of at least exceptional quality by most people, and it gets frequent updates. Studio Bones or Shonen Jump or whoever the fuck these guys are, they found a perfect formula for making this anime. My Hero Academia... Actually, it's called Boku no Hero Academia! Oh. Okay. My apologies. Boku no My Hero Academia's second and third seasons have 25 episodes apiece, releasing about one a week for 6 months. And then, just before everyone kind of gets bored with it, it goes away for about another 6 months. And right before everyone forgets about it and moves on, the cycle repeats. It's such a perfect balance of keeping the audience engaged without either boring them or making them lose interest from the downtime. It also helps that this series is really fucking long and we could theoretically get more seasons until we're all dead, and even then I can't guarantee it. Now I'm not saying that every anime needs to follow this exact same structure, but I hope production committees will take note of Hiroaka's smashing success. Are they laughing yet? I thought they liked overused jokes. So how exactly could this problem be solved? How do we just extend new franchises? It's easy to just say make more seasons, but you probably noticed that the anime I'd mentioned previously are adaptations from other sources. Original anime seemed to be doing pretty okay, actually. This is more of a case-by-case basis since all stories will be told in different ways, but really it just comes down to the adaptation rate, if that makes sense. My Hero Academia only adapts 2 or 3 chapters per episode. Since the manga releases 1 chapter every week, with the exception of a couple breaks throughout the year, it adapts maybe 50 to 70 chapters per 25 episode season. So they can both just kinda keep going until the story needs to end. Of course, some extra details might be needed to make the episodes reach the desired length, but this is something that people only appreciate, as long as it's not unnecessary filler. And of course, the series should end when it needs to end. I don't think everything needs to have 30 seasons and exist only for the sake of existing. Anime can tell great stories in 12 or 13 episodes just like they could be told in 100 episodes. As I said, it's a case-by-case basis where it just comes down to the producers and the creators playing it smart. Basically, don't be Studio Pierrot. Fuck you!